Greetings, welcome back to Switched to Linux. I was thinking about going and grabbing me a Zuckerberg style booster seat, but I ran out of time. Well, hello everybody. Well, the new shirts are in. Have a look at that bad boy right there. Sub to the cat, the human is crazy. Picture did turn out slightly more purpley than I would like because I had to balance out with the amount of green that was on the system, and I gotta mute my volume over here. There we are. Whoops. I had a whoopsies. But anyway, those are in and available at the store. I do have things like coffee cups. So here's a nice coffee cup. These ones are the ones with the coloration. I think there's 4 or 5 different colors you can put in here. And I have traditional solid cups as well. So here's with the solid cups. And again, there's white, there's I think white. I don't think black is an option, but we have white and red and blue and a few other colors. But those are available at the store at shop.switchtolinux.com. And also, I did want to see how it looks on a darker, so I got a bag. So this is one of the drawstring backpacks. So these are available on the site. Oh, and the kitty likes that thing. Whoa, kitty's like, I'm going for that, man. I'm going for that. Oh boy. So those actually, I just placed that order on Tuesday and they showed up yesterday. So that's how quick the turnaround happens. So greetings everybody. Oh boy. So today on the news, I didn't pull out a specific article. Mostly I just didn't get the chance to pull out all the articles till this afternoon. So news today, what will our demonetized duo bring us if spies don't raid their house before? Yeah, you know. Indeed, pretty much every video, the picture of the cute cat did not get demonetized. Most of the other things I had did in this last couple of days. So that's exciting. Isn't that cool? Linux, World of Linux, hello. Just working on the Universal Linux package installer and having some problems, including the libraries trying to fix it, but it's difficult. Ooh, well, you keep at it, man. Keep working the problem. Keep working the problem. Cyberpunk computing. Currently have 3 computers on my desk. Should I seek help? No, I'm not going to tell you seek help because I usually have 4. In fact, I had to move the 4th computer off the desk to set up the 2nd monitor for this. So no complaints over here. I have a Windows 7 computer behind the green screen that was being used for development stuff. I got Ubuntu sitting right here. I got Linux Mint. I have a Mac under the dude, I got computers all over. So join the party. Join the party. Oh, BitBlocks, you got me beat, I think. If we're talking about in the room, let me see. HP, ThinkPad, Asus, Raspberry. Oh, I do have the Raspberry Pi on the desk behind me. Yep, this is true. Cyberpunk Computing, let's see, says hi. Greetings, by the way, yes. And good evening, Ken. Hello, Keegan. Just got home from the park just in time. Tanner, how's it going, sir? Robert, greetings, World of Linux. Hello again. Highland, how's it going there? I made a PHP social media site. I'm publicizing it. Very good, man. Hey, shoot me the link to it. I want to have a check it out. Finally, Deep Six my Yahoo account. Yeah, I'm telling you, that new Yahoo account was kind of creepy. Carbon Programmer, KO2610, hello to both of you. It's for programs like a chat board. My issue is trying to fix the Apache config keeps rejecting file access without notice, so it won't read the login file. Yeah, I mean, if you shoot me the description of the problem, Highland, just PM it to me. I'll see what I can do. I actually just yesterday, for the video game server I run, we're gonna go with a new startup cloud service company that I'll be telling you guys a little bit more about down the road. But I just rebuilt our entire game server on that platform, and I think everything's working over there now. We're not on it yet, but I need to do a little bit more testing. But yeah, I'll have a look at that. I know Apache in and out, so. Robert, how's it going there? Greetings and salutations. All right. Now Google knows I'm here. Just signed in. Yep, there you go. Hello, Odie. You already have the Zuck haircut. Yeah, I do. Now I must become robotic. What? Coffee level low. Drink more coffee. All right, I'm done with being a robot. Robotic Zuck. Zuck the Schmuck Robotics. All right. That's what he should do. He should found a new company called Zuck the Schmuck Robotics. There you go. Switch Linux, I keep hearing my classmates saying Tor helps protect your privacy. I would use Tor if you're looking at privacy. But at the same token, I mean, the more people are on it, the better it's going to be, but you still have to be very cautious. There are some ways that it can leak. Like, you don't want to use the Tor bundle unless you have to. You'd want to use something that integrates directly into the operating system, like Tails, Heads, Unix, on either the Unix OS or the Cube system. But, I mean, it's better than nothing. Kitty is famous. Yes, Kitty. This kitty is now on T-shirts. Yes, you are on T-shirts, Kitty. You famous kitty cat. Let's see. Green screen creates some interesting effects on the mug. Yes, it does. It does. And wait till you see what we have coming down the pipeline. I'm gonna have some interesting stuff with the green screen coming up down the line. I'm actually collaborating on a video with somebody for the other channel. It's going to be fascinating. I ordered some extra green screeny type stuff for it. It'll be kind of neat. Let's see. I gotta move that because it's interfering with the corner of the green screen. Oh boy, oh boy. Sub to the cat. Now Hypnotoad will have to surrender. That's right. That's right. The internet junk data is building up at an increasing rate. Forgiving and forgetting past wrongs becomes harder. Yep, that's it. Love Hackintosh Mavericks a lot. Very good, very good. State so much unfiltered data is being passed down. But come on, man. They're not selling it. They're just letting people utilize it. We're going to look at that in a little bit more difficult. Past people decide what data to be passed on. Yeah, a lot of it was because of the size there. Mark drinks water because he is a water-cooled CPU. Yep. Danger, Will Robinson. Oh, did they say warning, Will Robinson, in the new one? It should be danger. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. You at least know the config name. I can search in the PM to enable error logging. You need to have 2 lines. I forget exactly what they are right off the top, but it's you need to put 2 lines in your php.ini, but you also might have to tell your server to use the php.ini depending on your configuration, and you can specify that in the htaccess file. There's 2 lines that you need to do for error reporting. Wait, what? They have the episodes on Netflix for Lost in Space. Dr. Smith is a girl now? Do you see they're doing Indiana Jones as a girl? For the love. For the love. In fact, it's heavily monitored because of how... Well, actually... No, Cyberpunk, it is heavily monitored, but the problem with Tor, the problem with Tor is you have to control both the entrance node and the exit node in order to demask somebody. Most people are demasked on Tor because they do something stupid, opening files that make out-of-browser connections to the internet, things like that. That's how most people are decrypted on Tor. There's a few other little odds and ends, but for the most part, it's actually not too bad. Remotely SSH in my home network today, watching this from home. Very cool, man. Very cool. All right, we're going to stop the comments right there for now. We're going to go ahead and introduce the topic. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to push start recording, and I'll once again probably release these out in 3 little clips. So I'm going to do all the privacy section first. I'm going to do all the security section next, and I'm going to do my biggest section is bad business. So I didn't come up with a good, fun, pithy title because I've had so many weird little things I've been doing. We're going to go ahead and start out with our privacy stuff. I'm going to, like usual, I'm going to be redoing the intro in between. It saves me a couple steps in the editing when I do that. So we have a few articles from privacy, we have 4 articles from security, and a whole bunch of articles from bad business. Business is out of control. We are in a corporatocracy. I'm going to show you what that's going to look like. But let's go ahead and roll with the privacy after I get whatever is in my system out that's trying to get out. Kitty, you fixed it. Very good, Highland. Very good. Awesome. Keep up the good work, man. All right. We're going to go ahead and run the intro, and then we'll dive into the privacy news, and I'll be back to the comments. Of course, I have to get off of my main one before I do that. There we are. Welcome back to Switch to Linux. It is Friday and it is time for the news. We're going to start out today talking about a little bit of privacy news that's out there. So basically what we're going to be looking at here in the privacy section is just a few of the ways out there that privacy is kind of under assault here. So let's just go ahead and dive on in. So first, if you remember, this whole issue with Facebook, they're coming out and saying, oh, we're going to push those new EU privacy requirements out to everyone. Everyone on our network's going to have this. I think they looked at this, or maybe their board of directors, or somebody who was making a lot of money who now seeks to lose a lot of money in this. They looked at this and said, dude, this is a bad idea. And so they decided to backtrack on that a little bit. They're going to give everybody the controls you have in EU, but they're not actually going to follow all of the EU privacy. So basically they said they were going to put everybody, which is about 2 billion people, 1/3 or more of the world is on Facebook. That's scary. So with the rolling out of the new EU laws, which is kind of going through everything, anybody who does any specific commerce with EU has a new series of laws they have to abide by and agree by. All right, and with these, Facebook was going to roll these out, but that just erased too much of this valuable data. And Facebook is a company about data, and so basically what they're going to do is they're going to, if you're not specifically in the EU, you're going back to kind of the way it used to be, except you'll still have access to the tools. You can go and delete things, but 1.5 billion people won't have all of the same stuff. So yeah, they realize they're kind of backtracking. I think the number is close to 1.9, let's see, almost 1.9 million Facebook users around the world would be protected by online social media, making changes to ensure that number will be much smaller. So members outside the United States, Canada, whether they know it or not, are currently governed by terms of service of the international headquarters in Ireland, which has very easy to get around laws. So that's one of the downsides is working with this global economy is businesses with the money to do it are going to run around the world and figure out where is the most profitable place they can set up their businesses for a variety of different things. And so that's kind of what's going on there. Come on, Facebook. But, you know, hey, that's the business they're in, right? Next, we have this nice new Windows Defender browser protection. So I think that this is a case of Microsoft. What this basically is, it's a browser extension you can add to Chrome. You can add this guy into Chrome, and it's basically going to, any site that you view is going to scan the site with Defender. Isn't this so awesome? You have the same Windows protection on your browser. I think this is a case of Microsoft going, you know what? Everybody out there is still downloading Chrome. They're not using Edge. Why are they not using Edge? The best browser in the world. Why aren't they using Edge? So they just decided to release this protection, which will basically put all the tracking stuff they want to track you on from Edge into Chrome. So what it basically does is any website you go to, everything, it runs all of those sites out to a separate Microsoft-controlled site, which is running a live server edition of Windows Defender. So basically, every single thing you go to on the website goes out to Microsoft servers. They scan it all with Windows Defender, come back and go, it's all good. Thanks for that data, by the way. And so I would encourage probably... Not a good deal, people. This is not a good thing. This is just Microsoft realizing people are not giving up Chrome as easy. I mean, they've done everything they could to force people on Edge, but they've realized that people are still going to use Chrome, and so this is the next thing. We're going to push the Windows Defender browser protection on your Chrome devices so they can still spy on everything that you do. So, way to go, Microsoft. Way to spin that for a wonderful thing. Except, if I got some pop-up thing that looks anything like this, I think, is this malware? Is this thing, the way this thing looks, it's malware. I don't know. But anyway, basically, I don't know. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Oh boy, well, if you want to figure out where those free-range children from Utah happen to be, if you don't remember that, a couple of weeks ago, the state of Utah passed the Free-Range Children Act, or whatever it was called, so people could have free-range children. Well, now Verizon has a new way that you can keep track of all them little kiddos. So basically, if they have a smartphone, because every child needs a smartphone in their pocket, you know, every child needs a smartphone in their pocket. And you know, 5 years old, 6 years old, give them smartphones, addict them to media. Let's go. Let's make this serious. So now they're basically doing this Verizon Smart Family. They're kind of rebranding the old parental controls, which was fairly useless, onto this thing where it does provide a decent service in that as long as your kids have their phone, or if they lose their phone, you can find it. But as long as your kids have their phone on them, then you can track exactly where they are. You can set alerts, so if they go into a certain range or out of a certain range, you know about it. It's basically home arrest, you know, house arrest for your children, you know. And there's some other things you can do, like there's some screening and filters you can do, which I have found that screening and filters through apps like this is like the most useless thing there is. The only real good way to do a proper filter is to force a VPN, an administrative VPN. NetAngel is the only filter I've seen that is actually worth anything, in my opinion, and even that is moving away from the VPN model and toward the app model, which means it's easy to get around. And so that's kind of the case. But anyway, this is this new Smart Family device. So you can get on here with your Smart Family. You can track all your children because, you know, we need that. Now, this is one of those cases where I love what the technology can do, but I hate the fact that all this stuff goes up to Verizon servers and they're storing it too. And I've been doing a whole lot of cool experimentation with Nextcloud on the phone and stuff right now. And I'm going to be rolling out some more videos on that. Completely de-Googlifying your system. Now, what I'm curious of is there is a way in Nextcloud to do the very same thing that Google does, where if you turn on location services on a phone that is connected to Nextcloud, it will actually track and store your data onto a map on your own personal cloud. Now, the only reason I don't turn that kind of stuff on anyway and even test that is as long as location is on my phone, apps may or may not be able to gain access to it in the bottom. And so that's kind of the case. So, you know, that's kind of where I sit in that. I'm not a big fan of this. This is a case where I love the technology. If I could implement this in my own hardware that I absolutely know for sure the data's not going anywhere else, this is a great thing. It'd be a great thing to have an individual product that is not linked to any other corporate server, just a home-based server or a server I control like an encrypted cPanel. Get one of those nice little flexi bands with a GPS tracker in it. That would be a great thing for our kids. It's just every one of the devices like that just wants to ping it all over all sorts of corporate servers, and we don't want that. And that's kind of the case with this. So I don't know how I feel about this, but, you know, what do you guys think? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, this is a neat one here. So there's this case. This came out of UK with BBC. Of course, your smartphone cameras are getting really good. So moral, you know, lesson here. Level 1 tech has been doing, you know, like, you know, tips for criminals or whatever. If you have contraband in your hand, you know, here's my contraband. You like it? You have contraband in your hand. You take a picture. You might actually snap your fingerprints in there, and these cameras have pretty good photos. Well, somebody did that. They snapped a photo of some contraband, and it had their fingerprints in there, and the police pulled the fingerprints off of the photo that the guy uploaded to his own WhatsApp account. So it was a WhatsApp, which is supposed to be very secure, and basically the WhatsApp photo drug dealer was caught by groundbreaking work that was merely taking fingerprints off of a photo that's snapped with a phone. So, you know, just be aware your phone has high enough resolution to grab those types of things. Oh boy. And now for the doozy of our privacy news. And this is one of those cases where on the surface this looks amazing until you start to actually think about it. And that's what's so dangerous. So this is the Nest Power Project. So of course, 1 in 5 families, the low income families, spend 20+% or more of their income on energy. So their goal is to help fund and get poor people Nest thermostats to put into their house. Under the guise, mind you, of making sure that that you have you know, we're going to save you 20%, which, by the way, if you just live consciously, you can save all that money yourself. Okay. You can turn the thermostat down when you leave the house. You can buy a programmable thermostat that's not connected anywhere to the internet, and you can do fun stuff like that. You know, I used to have one of those in my house out west. It was an awesome thing. I had a little thing there, and, you know, of course, I only lived in the house 2 years when I was employed, so I really only used the programmable functions, you know, for those 2 years. After that, I worked from home, so I kept the thing on all the time anyway. But it's a very simple matter. If I leave for the weekend, dude, I turn the thermostat way down. Not a huge deal. Not a huge deal at all to do that. But regardless, this is kind of their plan. And I'm going to, as a side note, if you're looking to design websites, do not design a website like this. I would like to find whoever designed this website, and I would like to, like, beat them silly with a wet noodle or something. I don't know. Look how bad the site is. You got to scroll, and then it just kind of gets you into these other pages, and it does all of this ADD, wow, all over the stuff with craziness. And as you keep scrolling, it just starts doing weird stuff. And look at this thing. This is a nightmare. And this is not cool. This is not cool, people. This is not some, oh, trendy, cool new idea. This is insane, because now I want to get back up. Like, if I want to scroll to the bottom of the page, there's no scroll bars at all. It's not like scroll bars are there and they're just cut out on your view. There are none. It's just going all over the place. Don't build a website like this. But it boils down to the very bottom thing. Oh, come on. Come on. Let's go. Jeez. Boils down to the very bottom thing. Earth Day 2018. We're going to launch this. We're going to roll out Nest thermostats for people. If you're unaware, a Nest thermostat is an internet-connected, Google-owned thermostat that can program and learn and understand. It can go in and it can say, oh, you're home, or oh, you're not home, and it will adjust things accordingly. It learns your patterns. Of course, this is also the thermostat that a couple years ago up in Maine, you know, in the dead of January when it was frozen out, they decided to push a software push, a required software push these things, and it bricked them all. And so all these people, all these snowbirds from up in Maine end up coming home to frozen houses and frozen pipes because their smart thermostats went really dumb with a brick. And so, but here is where I'm looking at this and saying, this is an issue. Of course, Google and these companies thrive off of data, and as ProPublica shows, the lower income people are at a higher risk of being utilized by big companies in exploitive and commercial ways. Well, this is a big data collection company that's trying to get these Nest thermostats put all over poverty-stricken areas' houses. That's what they're trying to do. And of course, under the guise of, we're going to help you save 20%, it's better just to teach them how to do things. You know, how to fix your thermostats and things yourself, quite honestly. And so I begged some questions. And so I came over here and found the privacy-FAQ. And of course, what type of data does it collect? You know, here's your privacy statement. And this is funny because this does not even take you to the privacy policy. This takes you to another page with more privacy stuff. It's a bunch of fluff stuff. How does it keep it safe? Oh, we use HTTPS, SSL, AES, RSA, data encryption. And by the way, they store all of this data about you when you're home, when you're not home, et cetera, on an S3 bucket, excuse me, an AWS S3 bucket, you know, that very perpetually leaky place that tends to leak data left and right. Does it know when I'm home or not? This is funny. Our product can detect when someone's there, and we use information like this to make our products more thoughtful. Does anyone else think that's a little ominous? For example, the Nest thermostat can turn itself down so you're not heating an empty home. It also lets Nest protect light your way at night so you don't stub your toe. Okay, if you want to learn more, want to be more literal about it, no one at Nest or Google spends the day looking at a screen tracking if you're home or not. Does that not just seem a little bit hyperbolic to you? It kind of does to me. Now that Google owns Nest, does Nest tell Google when I'm home? No, Nest accounts and Google accounts are not cross-referenced or linked. There is a Works with Nest integration from Google, but like all Works with Nest integrations, it's entirely up to you if you want to turn this on. We'll only share information necessary to make things work. So of course, if you want to, you know, hey Google, turn up my heat because you're apparently putting on a touch too much weight to waddle on over to the thermostat and crank it up yourself. I mean, here we go. Do Nest products have ads on them? No. Our mission is to reinvent the unloved things in your... What? What type of hack wrote this garbage? It's like dribbling. Like, when you start saying stuff like this, someone's lying here. I don't know. Reinvent the unloved things in your home, not to sell advertising. And by the way, though, there was some discussion about these things having ads at one point in time. You probably don't want to hear a radio commercial come from your smoke alarm. We don't either. Yeah. They don't really care. So anyway, let's go ahead and look at the privacy statement in the link. So this link takes us to this one, which again, notice is nest.com/privacy. Actually, I'm sorry, you can't notice that. The URL is now nest.com/privacy. And then your home is a safe haven. We believe home is a private place. You should have control of your home. We work hard to keep your data secure. Data can be thoughtful. See, and the biggest problem I have with all this is you're storing all of this data, and they are saying we're storing all this data. They're telling you that. They're storing all this data. It is available for hackers. If I am a hacker and I were to get in and access this database and I can work out the algorithms and figure out when someone's home and when someone's not, and I gather that out, man, I could produce a very nice darknet site about people's basic schedules and sell the list for 20 bucks a pop, just like you sell credit card numbers. That is the potential error here. And I'm not all that comfortable with them storing all this stuff on an S3 bucket because they're probably outsourcing it to third-party contracts as their privacy policy dictates that they do. And that third-party contractor may or may not actually know how to secure an S3 bucket. So neighbors have to earn your trust. We should too. Now that you know our approach, now you can read our privacy policy. And so this is their privacy policy, and there's some fascinating things in here. Obviously, some of this stuff is duh. You know, if you order a Nest from us, we need to know where to deliver it. Hello. They do say they're not them, but their cyber source is where they get their accounts from. They do say that they store your credit card data. I'm not sure if does anybody have one of these? Are there recurring fees on this that they would need to store that information? Of course, there's a mailing list. You can choose to do that or not. This is where things get a little bit interesting. Device usage information. If you visit a site and are logged into your Nest account, we record the IP address that you visit the site from. And if you have a Nest device and other connected device, we record adjustments you make to the product through the website interface. We store the data along with your email address, information about your Nest device, data collected directly by the device, a history of your device settings, and all the information we have collected about the use of your Nest products and services. And then privacy statement for Nest products and services about information there. This is just, and we're not going to read all this, by the way. But here is where we get into the online stuff, where they're utilizing all this stuff. If you take a chance to read all this, they are tracking what sites you come to, what sites you're not going to. They're doing all the third-party links. They're using the session cookies. And they also have the option down here. We permit third-party advertising partners to use cookies and other technology to collect information about your web browsing activities for some time, over time and across different websites when you use our site. For example, we use advertising services with third-party partners such as Google, Display Network, and AdRoll. I feel like the Micro Machine Man. To market our services to you and other websites and online services. Through a process called retargeting, each service replaces a cookie in your browser and when you visit our site so that they can identify you and serve ads to you on their site around the web based on your browsing activity. To avoid use of this information for advertising by third-party partners, you can change your browser settings to reject cookies. And that's what everybody should do right now, by the way. They do also, let's see, our site may contain links and websites offered by third parties, such as Facebook and Twitter, likes, tweets, pins, etc. These sites may also collect information. Data sharing. So under no this is interesting. Under no circumstances where we share personal information for any commercial or marketing purposes unrelated to the delivery of Nest products and services without asking you first. Period. They want to make sure that period was in there. And that period is flanked by 2 periods. Go figure. We do not rent or sell the user lists. The following are limited situations where we may share information. A, with your consent. B, for external processing. C, as part of business transactions, which basically means anything. Upon sale or transfer of this company and or all part of its assets, your personal information may be among this items sold or transferred. we will request a purchaser to treat our data like the privacy policy in the place of the time of the collection. Like all that regular stuff. And then, of course, after those bullet points, we may share non-personal information in an aggregated form. Your personal information may be processed, collected, and stored by Nest services in the United States or other countries outside European Union where our servers reside. As a result, your personal information may be subject to legal requirements, including lawful requirements to disclose personal information. And of course, they take this all very serious, and this is where you see that they are using an S3 bucket to store all this data. However, this is fun. However, Nest cannot guarantee that unauthorized third parties will never be able to defeat our security measures and use your personal information for improper processes. In the event that any information under our control is compromised as a result of breach of security, we will take reasonable steps to investigate the situation where appropriate and notify those individuals whose information may have been compromised. That is the biggest challenge. Right there. We went through all that just for that biggest challenge, as to say, we're just going to throw all this up on an AW bucket. Our third parties are probably managing all that. We're probably cutting costs where we can, and so we're utilizing external contractors, and those contractors may or may not know how to secure it. And that is why these Amazon S3 buckets keep leaking online. AWS is a fairly complicated system to work with. Okay, and I wouldn't trust companies necessarily with all this data. It's just better if they don't collect all this device data in the first place. And so here's be transparent, ask your permission, we will do our best in class. Okay, and I'm not going to go through reading all this, but to go back to the original article, the biggest concern here is they want to fit as many houses as they can with this stuff. This is owned by a data collection warehouse. And notice that they are utilizing browser cookies and whatever else to sell ads across different places. Worthy of consideration. So that is my take on the privacy news today. Whew. All right, let's get caught up on comments because that was long. Hopefully we can get through all these. All right, let's see. Sometimes they're trying to trap us in their prisons. They already are. It's called walled gardens. People are entitled to their own opinions. Isn't Chrome slow enough? That's just malware. Reason why Tor is not safe is because you will never know who's running the exit nodes. Yes, Carbon, but you have to control both the entrance and the exit node to be able to figure out what data is going through and then work through the decryption. Preach, 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 preach. Our Father who art... Oh, wait, hold on. Wrong channel, right? Never know who's on the same node as you. Yep. What's a node? Tor runs by a series of, the reason it's called the onion routers, it runs by a series of things. It basically takes your entrance node, passes it through a middle node, and then through an exit node. So and each one of these is layered with encryption, and so neither one can really see what the other one's doing. In most significance, the entry node can't see what the exit node is, and so there's no way to decrypt the data unless you control both nodes. That's what we're talking about. So this deals with how Tor is run. FBI raids the end node servers used by the criminal. They collect IP addresses, and you are suspected even though you never did anything wrong. Yep. I need mod to serve links. Highland, you are mod. Cool. We should have a little powwow of YouTube conference in that area. That'd be kind of neat. Okay, Chrome is no better for Edge for privacy. No, in fact, they're just about as bad. Just one sends the most of the data to Microsoft, the other sends it to Google. You know. I like the all-seeing eye. Yes. Kids are going to be scared for life if they never get any freedom. Yep, that's right. That's exactly right, Tanner. I mean, it's crazy. On Facebook, with your YouTube link, it's all about the stars and bars. Smart family, yes. Quite an intelligent decision to make businesses with all their data thieves in charge for a lot of people believe that they are doing the right thing. It doesn't even have to be FBI that raids the servers. Any government agency that raids the servers will suspect you. Yep. Funny story, last night I was installing Audacity on my dad's laptop and I got a pop-up that said Windows Defender Smart Screen is not responding. Do you want to continue? Oh boy. Just because you use Tor doesn't mean you're the most secure person in the world and have no responsibilities. In fact, it can be less secure when you connect to insecure bridges. Yep. G really isn't that expensive if you're smart with it. Yeah. Cat looked funny with the green screen. Yeah, he does. He's really I mean, this cat's really a space alien, so, you know, he blends in with his surroundings every now and again. I think the bigger problem is that some people's houses are not insulated. Yes, that is true. That's some JavaScript nonsense. Somebody's high on jQuery. Uh-oh. The new internet webpage. And people who've been given Captain Picard charges for hosting a Tor node because someone decided to distribute illegal imagery on the node. Yeah. I'm not sure I'd want to host one, that's for sure. Imagine running that on Raspberry Pi. It'd probably cause a kernel panic. I have lost track of what we're trying to run now. I'm forgetting where all my news was. Kernel panic to a farmer is when the corn doesn't germinate. That's right. Redneck kernel panic. Use trusted VPN tunnel going for 6 years. There you go. Too bad. Great idea to help us different things, but companies abuse the data they collect and runs technology we now have. Yep. Many VPN services still do questionable stuff. Yep. Just what I need. My thermostat isn't thoughtful. Yeah. Need a thoughtful thermostat. Yeah, we don't even try to use that here in the South. Most houses have to be insulated and normally use versions of old systems or wood if they're just wood if they're poor. Yep. Dark web is going to be thriving with all the data collection done by companies. Yep. Then that's the danger. All of these companies are storing stuff and hackers are coming in, grabbing all the data, setting it for sale, and by the time we know about it, all the damage is done. It's like, you know, Facebook is now telling people who was impacted by the Cambridge Analytica. Why does it matter? It doesn't. There's nothing you can do about it if your data was taken by Cambridge Analytica and sold 15 times over. Thermostat knows my favorite TV shows. Cats, colors, food, pizza, etc. Yep, that's right, man. The thermostat wants to know. Most houses in Colorado have to be insulated too, but the housing market is so competitive, people just buy a house anyway. Yep. Are you going to die when the price gets too high to pay? Yep. Oh, we're going to get into that today. Yep, we're going to get into that today. Companies collect data, should be held accountable for the security of data, but they're not. Still amazed on how well Mac OS X supports developer tools. Windows offers nothing for devs. Nope, not at all. I know, I know, T. You guys have no idea what he's talking about with the Micro Machine Man. Look him up. He's funny. There's basically state-supported cons. If a commoner does this, gets a nice trip to jail with all sorts of dangerous people. Yeah, spend hours on Facebook, other social media. Wait till the new census collection forms come out. Talk about privacy invasion. Seen some of those questions? Yeah, I'm not sure I trust them much anymore. I don't know. Current generation, including me, will inherit a mess of a world. Yes. Roundup dropped support for my Mac 3 days after I set it up, switched to Firefox, and didn't tell the difference. I was restoring an old bike. Hey, Kyrie Holmes, how's it going there? Google stuff, but really Ubuntu is using a whole lot of system resources about the privacy. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of my Ubuntu budgies. Probably shortly after the official Ubuntu release comes out, I'm going to update it, do a final review, and then get rid of it. There's too many little peccadillos that are driving me crazy on Ubuntu right now. Odie loves the cat.
Meow. Hello, Odie. How are you? I'm your new internet friend.
Let's close my Amazon account. Walmart has 2 days shipping now. But like much more rich people screwing over the poor people rather than the older generation screwing over the younger. It's pretty close, honestly. I don't know. There's a lot of it. I don't know. Teens will be affected most because of stuff they search up. The current generation teens might become more politically active later in life. That's what usually happens. All right, let's go ahead and I'm going to go back and work on my next banner. So, oh, Kitty, leave my camera alone. Kitty's like, no, I'm going to mess with your camera, man. All right, so next we're going to be talking about security news. Let's have to, I'm building the banners for all these as we go. All right, there. Save banner. Where are you at? There you are. Replace, export. Boom. Verify you're on. Oh, good, you're on. All right. Remember to push record. That's always important, right? Push and record. All right, so now we're talking, we got 4 articles on security. Once again, we are running the intros. If you're just jumping on now, don't be alarmed. We are running the intros again. Welcome back to Switch to Linux. It's another small segment from the Friday night news, and this time we're going to be looking at the security news. So the security, there's just a couple little articles going on in security, but I thought it was certainly worth looking into. So let's go ahead and jump on in. All right, so this is kind of neat, just kind of a little public service announcement. Usually these security things are public service announcements. If you happen to have a bunch of Bitcoin wallets back and forth, don't be live streaming telling people where all of your coins are at. There's been a few cases of people, of hackers, watching these YouTubers, and they're showing on their screens how much they're making. Here, look at how much I'm making, and basically this will expose, there's some parts in here that expose what his Google logins were, and hackers took over the thing and emptied his wallet while he was watching on the live stream. So, you know, whoops. Just be aware of that. Anybody who is bragging about your things. Oh, really? Pornhub now accepts cryptocurrency. Thank you. I really needed to know that, Verge. But anyway, basically these hackers have been watching all these people doing all these cryptocurrency videos and figuring out where their accounts are, hacking into them, taking everything, and it's cryptocurrency. So what you gonna do about it? Not a whole ton. But anyway, all right, this was funny. So there was this security conference, the RSA, where the world talks security, the RSA conference. They had an app that leaked all your data. Oh boy. So, you know, they had a basic app with all of the events and who is scheduled where the seats are at, where's everything at. You know, we're good, we're security. We have an app to do all this kind of stuff. And it turned out that the thing was using SQLite, and if you just kind of passed on a random login token, it would pretty much leak everything. Here's your values. Look at this. Here's everybody's names. We had names, we had emails, we had the statuses, a few other items show up. So yeah, if you just go to this particular conference, you'll see your name there. Whoops. Not a good sign when the security conference leaks your all of their data through their mobile app. That's probably a little bit of a, I don't know, is that a parody? Is that a parody of life maybe? I don't know. Oh boy. Well, this was a neat one. So there was this stress paint. This was basically it was one of these applications. I don't know why people keep on downloading these applications. You'd think we would have learned by now after 20 years of the internet. So basically, it was one of these cutesy little applications. You download it for your stress, and it's a stress paint malware, stress paint application. So basically, you download this guy, and it would allow you to paint over your screen and whatever other fun stuff it would do. Well, what it was actually doing is it was malware that was harvesting your Facebook logins. And so right in the middle of all of this Facebook debacle, these guys released this thing, and they ended up accessing over 40,000 people's user logins. Now, of course, this is Facebook we're talking about. That's what the thing was harvesting. So 40,000 out of the 2 or 3 billion Facebook users, fairly low percentage, but nevertheless, just be aware. Don't download random stuff from the internet. Of course, if you're on Linux, probably not a big deal for you. But anyway, so here it is. Hey, download for free. This is the phony website. And of course, it's got a cute kid who's been fingerprinted. Download the Relieve Stress Paint. Oh, come on, man. And yeah, it's going to give you a bunch of malware. So here's what we have. Release Stress Paint. Yay, it's going there. And then basically be running some of these applications in the background. And what it was going to do is accessing your Google Chrome login data. So if you go to a website, it says, would you like to store this data? You click yes. So you had to be using it on Windows. You had to be using Google Chrome. You had to be saving your Facebook login password to your Chrome browser. And if all those conditions were met, they probably stole your Facebook login. So if any or all of those meet to you, you might want to just go ahead and change your Facebook password. That'd be a good thing to do. Oh, boy. And last one. People are always talking about, I use WordPress a lot. People are like, oh, WordPress sucks. It's not secure. No, it's just that WordPress is the Windows of the web design market. It's a big target because it's really out there. There's a lot of sites on it. Drupal, not as much. Some of your more hardcore guys, I'm a Drupal guy. Well, Drupal is very insecure at times, just like WordPress, at times. The thing is, this is a much, much smaller market. And the reason I don't really do anything in Drupal is because think I've had a request. I think I've had 3 or 4 requests ever for anything in Drupal. So needless to say, I don't use Drupal a lot. I looked at what I wanted to specialize in web design, and everyone's asking for WordPress websites. So guess what? WordPress websites, because it's a lot easier to find work. So anyway, if you keep your websites up to date, it's generally not a security issue. This was the case with this. They're actually terming this Drupalgeddon, and it's pretty serious. If you happen to have a vulnerable version of Drupal, which Drupal 6, 7, and 8, and anything utilizing built with, which I've never heard of built with, but anything using those, which basically means, and there's estimated 1 million websites running this. So about 1 million websites out there. What this is considered a very high critical issue, and it allows somebody to simply enter a publicly known script into any Drupal page, and it will give you absolute full root server access. Yeah, that bad. So, take-home message, if you do happen to manage or have a connection with a Drupal site, make sure that the patch has been installed, and this patch was released sometime in March. So if you have not updated since March and you're running Drupal 6, 7, or 8, then go ahead and push that Drupal update, and that should fix your issue. This is considered very serious. So there's my my news for security today. Oh man, this cat is just pushing cat hair everywhere. Kitty, what are you doing? Yeah, I think I need to calm him down a little bit. Oh boy. Alrighty, let's see. Current generation teens. Let's see. Place where you can tell talking about code and programming. Alright. I'm a teen. I'm sure I'm screwed, but I honestly had no idea about this stuff. Yeah. Tanner, you're still a teen? I thought you were just out of your teen years. Y'all are getting old. I feel ancient. Oh, boy. You can unmod me down. The link is down. All right. You are unmodded, Highland. Privacy page of Microsoft. The link at the bottom of the page brings you to an error. Government information requests. Beginner programming as well. I have no knowledge of programming, but love to get into it. Yes, Tanner, get into programming. I will hire you. Let's see. Nowadays, you don't know who or what to trust for actual privacy and security. Nope, not really. Turns out my mom won't let me go to Linux Fest because it's on her birthday weekend and she doesn't want to see stuff on her birthday weekend. How do I convince her? Dude. You know, I mean, my personal advice is, Mom, this is something that I'm really into and it's something there. Can I give you the whole weekend, either the weekend before or the weekend after? Try that, man. Especially if I remember correctly, I think that you received the gift of the tickets from father or stepfather. I mean, that's the way I'd approach it. Maybe the weekend before, the weekend after. But, you know, talk about it, you know. That's my personal thought. But, yes, 90%. Well, it's not 90% of your generation. It's 90% of the world generation right now. Because, you know why? They just don't read the privacy policies. Just read the privacy policies. That's all you got to do. I'll be back. I'll be back with a 9mm Uzi and let me move. 5-meter spread. No sound. For the people. Anytime I'm a teen, I look up articles about my own generation to see how my own generation is viewed. Yep. Microsoft government privacy says, we're sorry, the page you requested can't be found. Huh, there you go. My generation seems addicted to social media and over-sexualized. Indeed it is, man. Cartoon programmer, you need to get together with co-host. I think you guys are like so similar. It's kind of funny. Generation is pretty hated from what I see, but it might just be an algorithm showing me certain news. It could be. Best way to test that is you know, wipe your browser cookies and use something like Startpage or DuckDuckGo. You'll get more unfiltered news. Don't. Even strangers, I know the problems my own generation is experiencing. The Brave browser says that it's faster than Chrome, yet it seems to gobble up the same or even a bigger amount of RAM, so it's not a viable alternative on lower-end computers. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on in the background of Brave that, I mean, what it's talking about as far as faster, it should load web pages faster than Chrome, assuming you're not running like an ad blocker. If you're running ad blocker on Chrome, it's essentially going to do the same thing. But yeah, it is a heavier system, but in the next release coming up, it's going to be based on Chrome, so it should be a whole lot faster and a whole lot smoother in the next version that comes out. So give it a try once it comes out on the new version. Create an account yet. If you plan on using the main, we're going to set up encrypted passwords with MySQL tomorrow. There you go. No, WordPress was originally made for blogs, but people started to realize it was used for a lot of sites, and so it pretty much became a multi-function full-power CMS, and that's why I use it a lot. Yeah, it did start for blogs, but it didn't stay that way. See what people are doing through the surface, a lot harder to get deep in. Yep. I think that means, yeah, okay, you're pretty close. Tom had the same problem with the dog hair, yeah. Help me with programming. Yeah, I mean, I'd look at articles, just online stuff. Also, there are a few of the places. One place to look at, Tanner, is MIT releases most of their lectures free and open source. You might browse their website, see if there's a programming course. The other places is there's a few of the big academy places like Khan Academy might have some. There's a few other ones that offer some free courses as well. So look at some of the online courses and see if you can get some free courses through those. And then pick your programming language. Like if you want to do mostly web programming, you probably want to start with PHP. If you want to do like application programming, you probably want to start with Python. So figure that kind of stuff out. Maybe Carbon is co-host. Dun dun dun. No, because I know co-host personally, and he's not in California. Something useful: shell scripts on Linux for the Universal Linux Package Installer. Wouldn't underestimate your whole generation just because you feel more smart about a certain subject. Yeah. Kind of want to start blogging. I'm getting bored on YouTube. Any recommendations? Free blogging site, not Blogger. You can get a free site at WordPress.com. I hate the WordPress.com blogs, but it works. You just have like, pizza11nerd.wordpress.com is what you'd have. So I'd probably start there personally. All right, I think we're to the bottom of that. So let's go ahead and dive on into the last and the greatest part. We're going to talk about bad business. Of course, I got to fix my banner. What's the chance I could spell corporatocracy? Come on, where are you? Main, general, privacy. There it is. Found it. Go ahead and push record now while I'm thinking of it. I don't want to have to download the whole thing just to do that, And banner, there you are. That should replace that to corporatocracy news. Good. Discard that because I'm done with it. See a pizza. Beat the pizza. Well, it's based on Chromium, boss. Chromium is an open source platform. Chrome does. It's based on Chromium. I mean, I have other concerns with Brave, but being based on Chromium is not one of them. All right, let's go ahead and dive into the next round of news. We're going to be talking about corporatocracy. Welcome back to Switch to Linux on this last portion of the Friday night news. And today we're going to be talking about corporatocracy news. So what are the crazy businesses doing to try to subdue us into their own evil causes? That is what we're going to be talking about here today. So first and foremost, this is not quite as bad. Just to notice, this is why I don't care for this whole model of subscription services, is because at any given moment, something you're using can simply just go away. And that is the case with Capcom. Capcom here has this new puzzle fighter game, and apparently it was probably not the most popular, or they wouldn't be closing it down, but they're closing it down. Only been running for 8 months, and as of July 31st, the servers are shutting down. So basically, this is a free app, and that's the thing. It's free, so whatever. Not a huge deal because of that, but if you paid money for it, different story. So it's an app that you download, but in order to play the game, it still has to ping a server. Now, what they could do is push out an update so that it no longer has to connect to the live server, in which case you could still play it if it's still installed on your phone, and then whether or not they release it as an app is yet to remain. But regardless, the issue here is they're just shutting the whole server down, which basically means if you have the app on your phone after July 1st, it's just useless. And this is the problem. We've encountered this with a lot of different games that require an online component or require a server. For example, even some of the smart speakers out there have closed out because of that. Smart hubs were the big ones, closed down because of it. If the company shuts down the server and the server is required to make it work, the thing no longer works. And this is not bad corporatocracy. It's just a reminder. Subscription services, you don't own it. If you buy the book and it's a DRM copy, you can't take the book off of that e-reader and put it somewhere else. But there's a lot of good e-reader services out there. That's why I don't like to buy the DRM copy ebooks. In fact, I won't buy a DRM copy ebook. That's the type of stuff we're talking about here. But let's go ahead and move on to the next level of news. And this is kind of where we get more into the concept of businesses just kind of running amok, really. So New York City blasts the broadband competition shortage. So like most places, now if you go on there's these websites to say, oh, where can I get internet today? And every one of those, and I remember having this long conversation on my other channel with somebody about this, where they kept on, they went to this website and said, oh, see, there's 25 internet providers in my area. So I went over, looked online. It's like, oh, that you're utilizing one of these sites that says this is how many people are on the site, are out there. When you dig into the list, almost all of those either don't provide service or simply aren't adequate. And this is the same case. And when the net neutrality rules, were repealed out, they're saying, well, let the business take care of itself. It can't, because this is the problem. Nobody has multiple options. Only a small percentage of people have one option. It's not a small. It's a sizable have one option. Very, very few people in the entire country have two options. If my internet service provider, which is Comcast, goes cray-cray, there's nothing I can do about it. Which, by the way, I have Comcast, and I hate Comcast. I hate them. I hate them. I don't want to give them my money. I loathe writing that check every month because I hate Comcast. But there are 0 other places that actually serve this area. 0. So there was a study in New York City's. I mean, this is New York City, and they don't have options. Very reminiscent. Now they have more options than we do. So here in the Bronx, 27% have one ISP. 71% actually have two. That's actually pretty good. And 0.3% have 3 ISPs. These are actually pretty good numbers. These are from 2006. I believe that some of these have dropped off actually as well. But this is the problem, is we lack choice. Oftentimes what happens is these things, this one here isn't as much a corporatocracy as it is sort of more of an oligarchy, where there's 2 big areas and they decide, hey, we're not really going to compete with each other. So while Time Warner and Comcast might both serve New York City greater, looking at their overlay maps, they don't overlap at all. There is very few places where you could go in New York City and get either one. And it keeps the prices artificially high. That's why they're fighting so much. If you want to sit here and have that argument to say, let the market take care, get rid of business and corporate regulation and all this kind of stuff, get rid of all this regulation, let the business fend for themselves. No. Okay? That is like taking a little bamboo spear up against an Iraqi tank. I don't know, an Iraqi tank, the spear might win, but you know what I'm talking about. Because Google can't get into this market, people. Google can't get into the markets where they're trying to establish ISPs. We need regulation to break that up. This is an argument Louis Rossmann was making when, people are saying, what about all the, get regulation out of here because why should Apple be stopped from interfering with their product? It's like, well, you're interfering with me ordering the product to repair my device from another third party. You can't have it both ways. And that's just kind of unfortunately the case, is that there's this competition just isn't there. And this is why we need net neutrality, because I have zero option. If Comcast decides, and I believe right now it's all the stuff is on the books, so they just want to decide right now to just block YouTube, unless I pay them an extra $100 a month, I don't have a choice. I have zero choice. Oh boy. This is an interesting one here. So when you type into Google, and you've probably done this at some point in time, you know, how do I change my oil? Well, instead of just getting the standard regular organic search results, Google is now working with trusted sources, i.e. whoever pays us the most money, to have their video always the top of the list when you do your Google search for how to do something. So it's pitching new brands on how-to features for its smart assistant that would include videos and step-by-step guides by their preferred providers. So basically, they've been pitching different companies to create videos for the new how-to feature. And of course, it's whoever, you know, whoever either pays them the most, whoever, whatever. But regardless, this is kind of what we're seeing here, is that whoever's got the money is now going to appear at the top of Google search. Maybe Google is getting a little bit too big. Oh, this fills me with loathing hatred for the world. And you know what, guys? I forgot to put in my Tom on fire. I need fire in this article. I need fire. This is such a gross case of people putting profits over humans. I don't want to describe the next adjectives that come to my mind. I might, you know, never mind. But basically, there's this cancer drug, which costs $148,000. Would you like to die or pay us $148,000? To all the corporate fat cats who have billions of dollars! I almost swore on my channel for the first time. Almost. Doctors looked at all this stuff. The doctors looked at all this stuff and said, you know what? I bet if we cut this in 1/3, it's still going to be just as effective. And so they did. And so the doctors started taking this drug, which used to be listed at taking 3 pills a day, and they cut that down and were prescribing their patients only taking 1 pill a day. And then it was determined to be equally effective in a completely independent trials. And so the doctors started saying, let's just do this at 1/3 the rate. So the pharmaceutical company that has this drug, they tripled the price. So, oh, you're just going to use 1 pill now instead of 3 pills per day? That's okay. They tripled the price, so it is still $148,000 a year. Congress, wake up. Take the people in charge of this company and throw them in jail for a while, seize all their assets, give it to the poor cancer patients, and then sort out the mess when you guys can figure out how to sort out anything else. Let these corrupt fat cats sit in jail for a while. This is called price gouging of the worst kind, because you are price gouging people fearing for their lives. As the doctor says, let's just use 1/3 of this. It's going to save you a lot of money. It's still going to be just as effective. And so the pharmaceutical company comes in behind it, triples the price. So their profits remain the same. And you know what happened to their production? Down 2/3? Wake up, Congress. It's time to go bust some heads and throw people in jail for a while. Seize all their assets, seize their personal assets, seize their corporate assets, and give their patents to all of the competitors. And let's see what happens to the drug price when it gets on the market now, when everyone has it. And by the way, take their patents and rip them up and throw them away. And release the thing, open source pharmaceuticals. Give it to all the companies capable of making it. Let's see how low we can get that price for those people. Because these are people scared for their life. Oh boy. And then the next fun thing, now more and more companies, all these companies now want you to auto pay, because of course when you auto pay, you don't see it when they're jacking up your prices. You don't think about anything else. I mean, you don't think about it at all when this is going on. And so now with the AT&T, hey, look at this. With the auto pay discount, you're saving a whole lot of money. If you go into all these, these are their prepaid plans. So you have your prepaid plan options. And with your prepaid plan options, man, this is actually a pretty good price. I might have to think about switching to this. That would be like save me like half my cost, I think. I don't know. But if you get your prepaid plan options here, you can save $5 to $10 a month. I guess it's, what is it? Looks like, yeah, $5 to $10 a month if you go on auto pay. No auto pay? Nah. But they just auto pay. You know, this is one of those cases where I might just, you know, auto pay on a prepaid debit card. It might be worth paying the $3 monthly fee to, you know, $3 monthly fee to save myself $10. That's a net gain of $7, isn't it? All for a system that it don't auto pay unless I auto put money on the thing. That might actually be a good way around that. I don't know. But anyway, everyone's trying to get us to move in that general direction. So, you know, whatever. Oh boy, Jeff Bezos reveals that Amazon has over 100 million Prime subscribers. Isn't that awesome? Like, okay, $100 a year is what it costs to be on Prime. Now, of course, unless you're a student, I think do they still have an elderly discount? I forget. And so in this case here, they're like, hey, and this is the first time ever they've released numbers, how many people are on Prime. It costs $100. So they have 100 million of these, and that means that, am I missing my math there? That would be $1 billion in revenue just in Prime. Am I doing my math right? That doesn't sound right to me. That's a lot. That's a lot. And so, of course, they're revealing that. And, of course, you know, Prime, everyone's getting on Prime. You know, you can get faster shipping on your packages and free shipping and all this kind of stuff and all these streaming services, all so that they can track you more, honestly. But of course, they have other fun ways of getting you on Prime as well, so this is kind of neat. Some of their labels for their more popular movies, although I don't know why these movies are more popular, they are being listed as Prime exclusive. Oh, there's an update to this article. I'm not sure. Let's see what the update says. Where is the update? Okay, updated. Is this from a while ago? I didn't think this was from a while ago. This was a while. This article here is a while ago. This was picked up today. This article got linked in because it was linked from another one. So yeah, this is an old article. My apologies. But it was actually cross-linked from an article I pulled this from today because Amazon, as of today, started doing this again with popular things like Star Wars, Marvel Universe, mostly Disney things. So there's some behind-the-scenes hanky-panky going on right now between Disney and Amazon, it appears. And so notice this. If I go onto Amazon and I want to search for The Last Jedi on DVD, oh, look at this. I can buy it if I get a Prime account. So, okay. I'm a guy that wants to own DVDs because I will be buggered if I'm going to pay money for a movie that I don't own. So I want the DVD. I usually get my DVDs on Amazon. If I'm buying a new one and I can't find it anywhere else, I usually get it on Amazon because it's, you know, harder to find the DVDs that you're looking for and fairly cheaper. Obviously, $17.99 is quite a bit cheaper than $30, which it'd probably be, I don't know, it might be around 30, maybe 25, 30 at Walmart, you know, for the same thing. I don't know. Ooh, I can buy it on Amazon Video for $19.99 and never own it. If these guys decide that they just want to pull it off there, it's gone. Isn't that fun? Isn't that awesome? But if I do want the DVD version, oh, I got to buy it right from the store. Now, there is a way around this, by the way, just an FYI. If you find yourself in this case, do not bite the bait. Step out of the lobster trap. Get out of the lobster trap. Okay, get out. Look for a third-party seller. They're making it hard to see. You can still purchase the new DVD from other places as long as it's not being fulfilled by Amazon. So just an FYI, if you encounter that, if you encounter one of these Amazon exclusive things where you got to be on Prime to do it, exclusive for Prime members, details only, cancel anytime. We're holding some copies for the Prime members. Yeah, that's what they're doing. So if that happens to be you, then make sure you just order it from one of the third-party sellers. And I've ordered a ton from third-party sellers. I have never had a problem, and that's the thing. So it's, I mean, this is the type of stuff we're talking about. You want the DVD, you don't even realize there's third-party sellers. Oh, I guess I got to join. Oh, I've been thinking about joining Prime anyway. Let's go ahead and join Prime so I can buy the thing. Don't do it. Just order from someone else. It is not worth spending an extra $100 this year for Amazon to have your stuff. So, there's my corporatocracy news for the week. Oh boy. Good measure to make them want what you do. Put them down. How can you tell apart between metacognition and self-obsession? Huh. Attitude. Okay. Talk about it all the time. It's obsession. There you go. Yeah. What would you do differently than other corporations if you had one? That's a great question. Okay, let's start with here. Now, of course, in disclosure, there's an Amazon link up there. The reason I still use Amazon a lot, and there's several compelling reasons I still use Amazon. Number one, you can create an anonymous Amazon account and pay cash to use it. You can use a non-anonymous Amazon account, have it delivered right to your front door, and pay with cash. That's huge for me. As an author, when I sell a book on Amazon, I make more money on my book than Amazon makes. There is not a deal I found that will give me better profit for my book sales than Amazon does. Now, the downside of Amazon is they really don't pay their employees well. It's not that they're making a $100 sale and Bezos is up there holding on to $98 of it and giving $1 to his employees. The fraction he gets from selling a product is probably smaller than the fraction his employees get. But I think that one of the things Amazon specifically needs to do is reevaluate the amounts. I mean, we realize it's a for-profit company and Bezos should be very well paid for the thing that he has built. I have no problem with that. But he is the richest man, or second richest, depending on where the stock market looks today. He is the richest man in America, sitting on billions of dollars of net worth, and 10% of his U.S. workers are on food stamps because they do not make enough money. There was another article that broke this week. I didn't include it, but it broke this week. It was an author in UK went undercover as an Amazon factory worker to see. He was basically writing a book about underpaid workers in the United Kingdom. And he said the working conditions were so bad, they did not give enough time to take a bathroom break. And so people were literally peeing in bottles at your Amazon warehouses. Think of that next time you open up your box. Oh, some guy who may have just peed in a bottle at his workstation may have just filled this up without the opportunity to wash his hands. So maybe they need to reevaluate the amount of money that the corporation and that the directors and executives are getting versus the individual people on the bottom line. Maybe that's one of the things you do differently. Let me look at my list here to see the other things. AT&T prepaid. AT&T, man, stop charging people for being responsible and paying their bill. I mean, why are you giving such a big discount for the auto pay? Very simple. The reason a lot of these businesses want to put you on auto pay is because it allows them to play around with the prices. Because if you are on auto pay and you are on online billing, your chance of actually looking at either your credit card statement or your actual bill is slim to none. If you pull out, for example, a Comcast bill, you have 60 days from the date that bill is printed to dispute any charges. If you're just auto pay and online billing, if you are the average person, you are not opening the bill when it comes. You're not looking at your credit card statement. They could have been charging you $10 a month for modem rental fees that you've never had. And past 60 days, there's no recourse. And so in that type of stuff, we need to stop trying to get people onto these things where we can maximize their profit. So that's one of the things I do different. What else did I look at? Oh, the pharmaceutical companies. I'm not going to go there again because what I say is probably going to be very uncouth. Basically, what you do differently is you care about people, you don't care about profits. That's the difference. You care about the people, the profits will come. If you care about people, the profits will come. There's an old business adage that says, figure out how to help people get the things that they're looking for, and you will not have to worry about money. And that's the fact of the matter. Okay? I've never built my web design business under the guise of, give me as much money for me. In fact, I just I estimated 5 to 7 hours or something to fix a site for somebody the other day. I ended up doing the whole thing in 2. I'm billing 2. I'm not billing out the most to what I could have possibly done based upon my initial estimate. Because it just ended up being a lot easier than I thought. And I was able to finish that project out, send out an invoice, and get on to something else. Because I don't care about that. And that's why that guy keeps hiring me. That's the thing we need to understand. We need to care about the people, not the profits. Corporatocracy, the only economic system that can exist because big business can perform regulatory capture and get favorable treatment in certain situations or just overall. Yep. Is net neutrality better or worse for the consumer? Everything I hear is pretty confusing to me. Net neutrality is horrible for the consumer. Like, no, okay. You want net neutrality is what you want. It is... This is where part of the convolution is. You want net neutrality because you want all of the data to be treated equally. Repealing the laws is horrible for the consumer because it allows a company like Comcast. Now, Comcast used to own a 30% stake in Hulu, and that is why they had so many issues with Netflix, where Netflix was crashing and burning on their servers. Netflix would get really slow. It'd get very unstable if you had Comcast and you were trying to use Netflix. But Hulu worked perfect because they had a financial stake. Now, in a recent sale, they sold their 30% stake to Disney, who now holds 60% stake, which is the majority market share, or the majority stockholder of Hulu. Comcast doesn't have any more, so guess what was released this week? Also not on the news, but Comcast is now starting to bundle Netflix in with some of their packages, because it'll now allows them to do that. And now it wouldn't surprise me if all of a sudden Hulu starts to work worse on Comcast. Honestly, that's kind of stuff. So we want net neutrality because the biggest reason is because the ISPs are also the companies that hold the keys to the internet. And the problem is that the ISPs have financial stake in other online services. So for example, Google had a wallet system, but it was blocked on Verizon servers and numerous other servers because those companies wanted to have a competing product. That's what net neutrality was all about, is to allow a company. So if you wanted to come up with the latest, newest PayPal, and PayPal had a deal with Comcast, you could never get yours off the ground because they look at you as coming up as an up-and-coming system, and they make your site work so poorly on anybody on Comcast. That's the problem. So you want net neutrality. What Ajit Pai did was wrong. It's not what the majority of businesses wanted. It's not what the American people wanted. The only people who wanted the repeal of the net neutrality rules is the ISPs. And they should be broken up. They're too big. So yeah, you want to have net neutrality as the consumer. You want net neutrality. I would want net neutrality even with legitimate competition, but I would care less if there was legitimate competition. I wouldn't care as much if there was competition. Unfortunately, there's not. Linux party for president. All right. Hey, JJ Game. Greetings. So I realized today's reality. Everyone hates the ISP. I like mine. Well, what happens? I mean, they raised my prices 40% over the last year. Yep, they should be split. That's exactly the case. It is actually, it would be cheaper for me to get an internet, phone, cable television package than just getting internet. That's how ridiculous this is. It's crazy. It should not be the case. Companies have always put profits over human beings. Not always, actually. There were a lot of the early founding of a lot of companies, they were about helping people. It's this modern, and this is why we are not in a capitalist society. What we are in looks almost like a capitalist society, but we're not. Capitalism contains morality. Without morality, capitalism isn't a thing. We are in a corporatocracy or an oligarchy. One of those two, depending on where and how you slice the pie. Of course, we know who's getting that pie. But basically, there was a time, a lot of the big companies we have were founded on good principles. Like Walmart, for example. Walmart back in the day, when it was still in its growth thing, it wasn't all over the place. You could not go into Walmart and buy a movie, a book, or a music album with foul language. It would either not be for sale or it had to be edited to edit the bad language out. And then they just kind of did away with that because they're like, yeah, that's unpopular. But it was good for the consumer. They grew well under that. And they got rid of that policy. Of course, they're going to turn back to that a little bit right now, where you have to go to the counter to get Cosmopolitan instead of being actually at the checkout. But, you know, only permanent cure for cancer is genetic engineering. Well, even that's not necessarily. There's so much involved in cancer. There's no silver bullet, even gene therapy. Heard Tom swear once in my whole life. When was that? I don't remember. I don't remember that. I remember swearing with Shane once. But yeah, I don't remember that. When was that? I don't know. Equifax being negligent with Social Security. Remember Equifax being negligent with everything? Equifax never got any penalties. No, they got bonuses for retiring early. Only naive or already sold doctors make such information public. Who really cares for people? Yeah. Where a wife works, pharmaceutical reps are in there all the time, handing out free items with the medicine's name and catering lunch and whatever. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, you know. Hey, Kitty, you're getting too close to the computer over there. I'm afraid Kitty's gonna knock out the mic or the camera. I'm gonna move the kitty. There, buddy. There you go, bud. All right. And then that company that made EpiPens do the same thing. Yeah, actually, the first one to do it was actually there was a company that's had the HIV drug. The guy bought the rights to it and jacked the price up like 1,000% or something insane. And then, yeah, the EpiPen was a whole issue. I spent a lot of time talking about that last year. But yeah, it happens all over the pharmaceutical industry. It's kind of crazy. Has his own center, and they simply tell their parents which therapy can really help and who's behind the money option. Yep. Corporations are just going to value profit above all. If you're not sure your patents doing the artificial scarcity... Wait. You sure that it's not patents doing the artificial scarcity and price gouging? Patents or patients? Now, the fact that the doctor can say, this drug is very expensive, we're going to cut it back in 1/3 because studies have shown it does the same, and so the pharmaceutical company immediately turns around and jacks the price up 3 times to get the same exact profit for patient, that's definitely a problem with the company. Big corporations are immune to the U.S. being accountable for their actions. Government is not in charge anymore, which is supposed to protect people. They put the price tag like they fear people. Farm bro who raised price of the AIDS drug. Yep. And EpiPens. Drug hits home. That guy was despicable. Yep. My dad saves a lot auto pay. But pay that than the regular price and give them my debit card. There you go. Yep. I love the auto pay, not going to lie, but it does suck when I miss the email. They're raising prices. Yep. See, if you're on auto pay and you're on online billing, those are two separate things. Tanner, if that works for you, and that's okay. Honestly, it's okay. You just have to discipline yourself once a week. Set a time, set a date. You're going to stop and read every one of those emails in detail at the time you get it, or at least once a week. So it's not a really big deal. It's just a thing to just to discipline yourself to do it. Walmart is decently priced DVDs and lots of them. There you go. I wish Hastings was... Oh, I miss Hastings too, man. Only place I know of where you could buy a Bible and a stripper pole. Yeah, whole company went bankrupt and closed. Yeah, Hastings was a nice place. We used to... Yeah, Tanner was in my house. We used to go and rent movies. Remember those days? All right. Amazon is heaven compared to our supermarkets. Yeah. Psychopaths are popular CEOs. Yep. That's it. Yeah, that's remarkable if you look at how many companies have psychopaths in CEO positions. It's scary. Like pretty much all of them. He's worried about employees being paid. Yeah, that's how Bill Gates thought about it. He was worried about the employees being paid. Yep, that's the thing. You know, of course, once he leaves, the other new guy takes over. They just lay off their whole QA team. Like, what? I'm a noob? I don't know. Sokoga Mining 9199. Okay, apparently I'm a noob. Okay. Have we fed the kitty yet? We have not fed the kitty yet. Weird that Brian Lunduke wasn't for net neutrality. Yeah, I mean, that's... Yeah. He's more big on DRM, which I admit is a big issue. I just think net neutrality is a bigger issue. I hate DRM too. I mean, I'm take a firm stand against that. Founder of Walmart, Sam Walton was such a good dude. Sucks the company, so selfish now. Yep. Sees that we don't have capitalism. Yeah, that's the thing, is we don't have capitalism anymore. Capitalism's a great system. We don't have it. Monopoly only works if there is a law that forbids other companies to exist doing the same service. Okay. You can buy shotgun shells from Walmart. This is true. This is true. DRM only hinders the honest buyer. Yes, it does. All right, we're going to go ahead and feed the kitty, do a final call for comments, and then I'm going to get out of here. So let's go ahead and set up the kitty. Oh, kitty, kitty. See that, kitty? And don't forget, guys, if you're jumped on late, my new t-shirts are out. Sub to the cat. The human is crazy. T-shirts, coffee cups. I think there's a mouse pad on it, too. I didn't buy the mouse pad here, but yeah, kitty, you know what you're getting, don't you? You know what you're getting, huh? You do, don't you? Yes, you do. All right. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, yeah. You want to stick your paw in there? So cute when you stick your paw in there. Oh, yeah. Go on. You can do it. You got it. Almost. You can do it. Grab it. Yeah. Good boy. All right. And there's one for that camera. And let's do one for this camera over here. This camera. Oh, here you go. Yeah, here you go. Are they finger looking good today? They finger looking good? Yes, they are. They're finger looking good, huh? Okay. Kitty Skittles. Don't forget the thumbs up. Yes, don't forget the thumbs up. And double check if you're subscribed, if you should be subscribed. I've had a couple people tell me they're unsubscribed when they should be subscribed. If we don't have capitalism, what do we technically have? Is there a word? Yeah. Corporatocracy is one guess. and oligarchy is the other. So a corporatocracy is when the company dictates through the politicians the laws of the land, and of course they push the laws in their favor. And a oligarchy is when there are a group of corporations that lead the direction of policy. And they're slightly different, but they have a little bit of overlap. Oligarchy, by the way, came from the oil monopolies, the oil. So that's how it's kind of spelled. So that's kind of what we have. Is mouse pad? Yeah. So you got the mouse, the cat mouse pad. This is a cat and mouse game. Is the print quality good? Like the T-shirt's good. It's slightly more purpley than I like, but it's good enough that I'm not going to bother changing it. But actually, it printed really nice on the coffee cups. So, so on the coffee cups, this is the regular coffee cups. This is the standard white ones. And I do have the colored styled as well, which has white on this side. Sorry for the green screen. Has a little bit of blue around the handle, the edges. But this one here, the difference is this one here, the picture's on the front. This one's on the side. So that's kind of the difference on those. But yeah, you can check those out at shop.switchtolinux.com. And let me tell you when the next sale's going on here. Let me pull that up real quick. Okay, May the 2nd and May the 3rd, there is free shipping in the shop. Shipping is usually starts around $6. I've seen it $6 to $9. So it's not a huge deal, but that's actually not too bad. So, and I'll try and remind you guys when that's out. But anyway, you can check those out. And let's see. Because how Linux works, more secure something, and oh, you got is it because how Linux works that's more secure or something else? DRM is scrap, but Steam on Linux DRM is not that bad as other. Okay, well, I mean, all DRM will prevent you from. Basically, like if the DRM on Steam, for example, if I download the game, I have to have the Steam client running in order to play the game. That's what the DRM does. Same thing with a DVD. I have to have the DVD player that play the DVD. And that's not as big of a deal on a DVD, but it become a huge deal when you're talking about buying a book, for example. So if you want to buy the books that I have, they're Christian books. Testing and Temptations is one of those. And let me find those for you guys in case you guys are interested. I'll just find the Amazon link for you here. Well, anyway, I'll just go to my main site, I guess. All right, so I have 2 books available. Testing and Temptations is one of them, and the other book right now is Art of Shallow Neighboring. So I have these 2 books available. If you were to go onto Amazon and buy one of these books, now Art of Shallow Neighboring, I've intentionally set it to not be DRM locked. If the book were DRM locked and you were to go onto Amazon and buy this, you could not, if you decided down the road, you're like, I hate Amazon, or Amazon decides, like for example, I'm going to pull the old book off the old publisher and republish it under my own brand name because it costs a lot. When I pull that out, that book may not any longer be available on Amazon. It might be, it might not be. It's kind of a roll the dice. And if you've bought that old book in the past and it's off the site, it disappears. Now, it may remain on your device or it may be deleted from your device. But if you delete it from your device and it disappears from Amazon, you may not be able to re-download it. because it's DRM locked, you can't take your Kindle, save a copy of the book, and open it on another thing. So for example, on my Android tablets or things like that, where I use an e-reader, I use FB Reader, which is a free open source ebook reader. So with a DRM free copy of the book, I could extract that book from my Kindle or whatever device. I can save a physical copy of it on a disc, well, a digital copy of it on a disc, and I can re-upload it at will to anybody. That's why I use DRM free on my books. So when I control it, it's DRM free. If I don't control it, now, when I release this, Amazon has that new Bookshare program. They're trying to push everybody into it. You have to agree to DRM lock your book and to exclusively sell it on Amazon. I was like, ain't happening, because you can buy these from me directly. If you're in the United States, you can come over to my website. You can pick up a copy of both my books, and you'll actually get a DRM free copy of the book directly from my site. So that's kind of the difference between the DRM, is it will lock the product to the device. The device goes defunct, you're out of luck on the product. That's why I don't want to pay money for a DRM locked file, because if the service goes away, you lose the product. I don't want that. That's kind of what the issue is with DRM. Okay. There's U.S. to renounce your citizenship, you pay almost $3,000. That's funny. Sounds like there's somewhere in the middle. Yeah. Does the t-shirt come with cat hair? This one would come with cat hair, unfortunately, but no, there is no cat hair. They're not produced or shipped from this office, so there is no cat hair here. Now, when you place the order on the website, it's manufactured and shipped straight to you. I know that was kind of a joke, but you know. Got an ad on the channels. Yeah, Google seemed to change some of their ad algorithms. I'm not up to date on my files and stuff. Got the OG mouse pad. Awesome. I need a bigger coffee cup. Yeah, there's these ones, the travel mugs are nice. I don't have the cat on this mug. Do you guys want me to put the cat on this mug? I can. It's a click of a button. I just haven't bothered, but I can put the cat on this travel mug as well. Creating a Discord room for your Patreon people to talk with you. I hate Discord. However, Omar, I have another solution for that, by the way. I think I've settled on my name, what I'm going to rebrand all my channels under. Myself and a few people got together and we kind of hashed out what I kind of want to do with it. I'm going to be announcing that kind of stuff on Patreon as soon as I do. But one of the things that I have working right now is I have the Nextcloud talk system working very well. That will allow voice and chat stuff. And what I absolutely can do is create a room for all of us on that. So it's my own self-controlled system that is end-to-end encrypted that I would have full control of. That's what I will do for the patrons, though, I think. That's actually a good idea. I just thought of it. But I'm not sure I want to do it on Discord, but I can do it on that. So, I don't know. But anyway, I don't know. I'll revisit Discord maybe. I don't know. Night, everyone. Got some Morrowind to play. Awesome. Speak more information on anything. Learn a foreign language. See other people's perspective. Most people don't realize the important things of learning a second language. Yeah, you're going to buy a mouse pad and you like the backpack. Yeah, backpack is actually pretty cool. This is the backpack if you didn't see it. So it's the drawstring packs. So you got the drawstrings on the side. There is a pocket on the back down here. There's a pocket here. And then there is the image out here. And I have sub to the cat, the human's crazy. And I have this with the traditional Switch to Linux logo as well. And those Oh, I can't remember the price on the backpacks. This t-shirt is $17. I think the coffee cups are like 15-ish. And I think the travel mugs and the water bottles, I think, are 20, I think. Oh, Mike, you must have missed it. I did feed the kitty already. I did feed the kitty. I'm sorry. But actually, you should be able to scrub backwards in time. About 5 minutes ago or so, 10 minutes ago, I fed the kitty. So, absolutely. There's a utility that will convert Kindle books to PDF. Not if they are DRM locked. You would have to break DRM, which there are scripts to do it, but you violate United States law by doing that. So yeah, there are some options that will convert Kindle books to PDF, but if it's DRM locked, it may not work. Live streams have helped me a bunch lately. Just want to say a big thank you. Knowing my low self-esteem from getting too low. Hey man, you're doing fine, man. You're doing fine. And yeah, we'll get on the phone sometime soon too. I promise. Be able to decode other people's information from the language. You PayPal. Do I PayPal? I PayPal. Yeah, if you actually go to switch to Linux. /support. On this page here, there's a link to Patreon. Here's a link to the PayPal button. This is my Amazon link. And over here is my link to the shop. So you can come to switchtolinux.com/support. We'll land you there. Second language is important, for example, without it, I couldn't watch or understand Tom. There you go, yeah. Say I have like 100 games on Steam. Can't imagine overnight if it goes out of business. Yeah. That's the scary thing. Arabic. Awesome. Very good. To the cat. A coffee and mouse pad. Keep you in Skittles. It was Spanish, but I forgot Spanish when I started going to school. Wow. Hello, Anna Rita. Yeah, we're just wrapping up, Anna Rita, but I'm going to release the 3 core things here soon. Actually, I'm going to keep the video up for... I'll probably delist the video, so save the link if you want to watch the whole live stream again, or add it to a list or whatever. I don't care, but I will take down the... I delist them from public after I put up the first one of the videos I recorded. Doesn't Discord collect data about the programs I have open? I have no idea. Cat chasing a tux. I think my brother said I should have a mouse pad with a cat doing this. So anytime you go with the mouse, it's like he's batting at your mouse. Email a couple pictures of CJ mouse pad if you want to see the print quality. Yeah, let me know. It should be pretty good. It's just it does look just a little bit more saturated than I thought, but it's not bad. So if it were bad, I would change the image. I just realized you are relying on Google for my stuff. Not very much, actually. You want the backpack? Okay, Tanner. I will get you the backpack. Tanner, PM me or actually just text me your address. Actually, I just got I bought the backpack here, Tanner, so I could do that. If you guys didn't know, Tanner's like a personal friend of mine. So, yeah, I'll send you the backpack, Tanner. Do I have my own B plan if Google YouTube abandons me? Yes, I do have a B plan. I didn't see any of your messages that were deleted. I don't know. All right, I think I've reached the bottom of my comments, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this guy up. Hey, Kitty, want to come and say goodbye? Come on, come say goodbye, buddy. Whoa. All right.
Bye everyone.
Oh, there you go.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Well, he's just not cooperating. There you go. That's what you want, right? There.
Bye-bye, everyone. I hope you enjoy switching to Linux.
All right, guys. We'll see you later.